Apple's highly anticipated iPad, the next version of it, came out yesterday afternoon, and some people were a little disappointed. There were some new features, but it wasn't quite the big splash everyone was expecting. Rob, tell us.
Everyone is disappointed because it's exactly what they expected.
Right.
It's kind of like,
no surprise to the
it's like
upside.
peeking at before Christmas, peeking
Yeah.
at the gifts and figuring out exactly what's under the tree. So what, the screen's a little better, the chip's a little faster, the graphics work a little better.
So
all
this
those
is
things,
for all
those things are nice.
All the all the gearheads, the geeks, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, they're not so. But for investors.
For investors, it doesn't really matter if you think of it this way, because if you look back in the past, like when the last iPhone, the 4S, the one that's out there now,
right.
When it came out, everyone said, "Oh, this is a bomb. It's not. It's exactly
nothing
great. The speech
Siri
recognition,
it's
okay, but the screen's better, it's faster, etc." And look what happened. The stock fell 5% that day. Look what's happened now. It's the best-selling phone they've ever had. 37 million in the last quarter. They're making just like boatloads of profits. And the reason is because when you've got a product that's been out there a while, like a phone or an iPad, it gets progressively more difficult. What you want to do is just do incremental improvements, and that's what they've done.
But everyone is, because there's this, Apple has created this image for itself of this big innovator, which they of course are. So there's always this anticipation that there's going to be something great every single
fantastic,
time in there that we haven't seen before.
And they can't do that.
But they don't need it.
Exactly, and that's the point. And maybe they'll introduce a new product later in the year. Maybe they'll have they'll finally come out with the TV they've been promising.
Kind of.
But we should definitely expect a new phone out later this year, and that's going to be incremental and just as good. The key thing is to look, how does Apple stack up against its competitors? And if you look at the iPad versus the other ones, well, there's not really much of a competition.
They're even creating
way
more ground there. And so we've had this view that since way back when that Apple could sort of be hurdling towards $1 trillion.
Oh yeah.
And this iPad.
This helps them get there.
It does help them get there, despite the sort of the dampness. What are the metrics that we're looking at to try and?
Well, if you look at just PE, the price to earnings ratio, it's the same as every other stock in the S&P 500. It's the same as the average of the S&P 500, 12 times earnings. But the average stock isn't growing 75% a year. And then also, the average company doesn't have $100 billion cash pile. Take out the cash, and Apple trades at a big discount.
And they could start paying a dividend.
Yeah, and if they paid
talking about this,
even half of their cash flow for this year, they'd yield about 5%, which is twice as much as the average stock in the S&P. If you adjust for all those things, it's probably worth $1 trillion.
All right, we'll leave it there. Despite the disappointing iPad, Apple should keep hurtling towards $1 trillion, and we'll be back with more breaking views tomorrow.